Hello and welcome to Hank Games Without Hank. My name is John Green. I am the manager of the AFC Wimbledon Wimbly Womblys, which rose from the ashes of Wimbledon FC, worked their way up through 8 promotions. I don't know, I might be exaggerating. 6 promotions, whatever. I'm telling a story all the way to League 2, the 4th tier of English football, where today we find ourselves playing York City. Is York a city? I don't know. Probably not. Injury update. Oh, it pains me to say this. John Green is out for 4 weeks. There's something wrong with his leg. Bald John Green is in the game, though. He felt really strongly about playing to honor his husband, and he's playing next to Green Eggs and Sheringham, about whom I think I have a song that does not involve scoring with a goat. But I don't know. When the pressure's on, who knows? So we'll see if he scores. I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to control myself. Anyway, really quickly before we get to Barry Carr and his Project for Awesome video suggestion for a topic, I just want to say that Green Eggs and Sheringham was caught in a somewhat embarrassing but you know, funny situation. He was hooking up with a he was engaged in a romantic encounter with a young woman in the AFC Wimbledon Wimbly Wombly locker room, specifically in a stall, in a bathroom stall, and you know, they've been giving him a lot of crap for it. Both the supporters and the players. So that's a great pass to start the game. Today, Barry Carr, who is the dad of the Short Sisters on YouTube, Monica. You guys, I don't know. Some of you may know the Short Sisters. But they were like 2007 Nerd Fighters, very early Nerd Fighters, and Monica works on VidCon, and Barry's been part of the Nerd Fighter community and VidCon since the very beginning. And his suggestion was, if our reality is socially constructed, talk about the role of the artist in decreasing world suck along the lines of adbusters.org. So I do think that that the artist has a role in decreasing world suck. Oh my God, what's wrong with our passing? Specifically, who is that guy? Porter? He's having a terrible game so far. Specifically for this reason, like, reality is partly constructed. That doesn't mean that it isn't real. Like, all kinds of constructs are real and powerful and important, but they're still constructed. So Paul John Green. Oh, disappointment. So for example, also well offside. For example, the AFC Wimbledon Wimbly Womblys, lots of people would say, like, oh, they're not real. You know, they're construction. Like, they're made up by this guy in Indianapolis, and that's true in a way, but they are also real, and that's true, by the way, for all sports teams. All sports teams are constructed. Like, our meaning, the way we value. Get in. Oh, the way we value their meaning is constructed. Like, why does it matter if a person kicks a ball through a net or into a net? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in real reality, but it does matter in constructed reality, which is the reality in which we live. So it's the reality that matters. The idea that, like, of privileging objective reality is very problematic to me. But that's another story. So I do think that artists help create that. Get in. Artists help create reality in that sense. And they also can like challenge perceived notions of what is real or like what must be real. A good example of that to me is Adbusters, which is an organization. I followed Adbusters back when they were, I don't know if they still are, but back when they were a physical magazine in the early 90s when I was a student at Kenyon. Was I really offside there? I apologize for how the Wimbly Womblys are playing. This is not our best work. But I was a fan of Adbusters. They would basically, like, take the conventions of advertising and then use them to destroy the idea of advertising or to attack various like troubling parts of consumer culture in the industrialized world. And it was and remains a really interesting and influential I guess critique of consumptive capitalism. Is that the right phrase? I don't know. I don't know if that's the right phrase I'm looking for, but you know what I mean. Yabamba almost had the ball and he was going to shoot, but then York City is proving a tough opponent today. So I think like I think artists have a responsibility to reflect the world as it is, but I also think that they have a responsibility to kind of comment, to make comment upon that, not just to say this is the world, but also to make comment upon it. Now, if you make a boring, obvious comment upon it, it's not good art. And I think art that's merely political isn't good art. Art must be, this is a nebulous word, but it must be beautiful. It must be good. It must serve. It must be contextualized. Like otherwise, it doesn't work. Like it doesn't work as political commentary. Like to me, The Fountainhead doesn't work as political commentary because it's not a very good novel, because it's sort of a merely political novel. And I don't just feel that way. Before I get criticized, I don't just feel that way about sort of leftist or conservative political novels. I also feel that way about, for instance. That was another bad pass from Porter. I also feel that way about, for instance, this has to be, but it isn't. But it isn't. I also feel that way about Fahrenheit 451, which I've often criticized as being an overly political novel to the detriment of it as a book. Oh, out of nothing! Oh, it's Cole Porter. I criticized him over and over again, and then he shows me how wrong I was by doing the dead fish after he scores a goal. Bees do it. No, I screwed up the song, Meredith. Birds do it. Bees do it. Even educated fleas do it. Let's do it. Let's score a goal. Goal Porter with a beautiful goal. Beautiful, beautiful goal. And then I followed it up with what I have to acknowledge was a beautiful song. Thanks to the Wimbly Wombly supporter who invented Goal Porter's identity and his signature theme song, which I've just been able to sing for the first time. That was a great goal, Goal Porter. Congratulations. So I was wrong to criticize him, and that's but he did make some bad passes, but he just And then Frampton comes alive, is so excited for him. Oh, Kennedy's haircut. It's just a disaster. I guess in the second half I want to talk about kind of the artists who influenced my reality and the way that I imagine the world around me. But I also want to acknowledge that like I really do genuinely believe that art creates change, and not just like Harriet Beecher Stowe's Uncle Tom's Cabin or Upton Sinclair's The Jungle, like novels that create social change in a direct way. But I believe that like they create social change in small ways by like shaping the way that individuals look at the world and what they value, and helping people to feel less alone and to imagine other people more complexly, to have more empathy. Like that stuff is, oh no, anything but this. Oh, Seb Brown. York City should have scored 6 times there. They couldn't stop dribbling. I've been there. I really believe that, and I wouldn't do what I do if I didn't believe it. Like if I couldn't believe that, I wouldn't find value in my work. It has to be. Oh, he's offside. Oh, the pain. I should have waited. Yabamba was just so excited about making that cross. Yabamba. Yabamba. Just kick to a guy who was offside. Just kick to a guy. I'm working here. So, and on that front, like there are a lot of artists who have influenced the way I think about the kind of the purpose of writing, and also the way I think about the world around me. Like David Foster Wallace is a obvious example. I read Infinite Jest when I was a freshman in college or a senior in high school, I can't remember, and really deeply influenced the way that I think about the world. All these years later. So it's been almost 20 years now, and I still find myself thinking about that book and thinking about the way that the characters interact with each other or don't interact in the face of a kind of like a world saturated in technology. So that's definitely a very important book to me. When I was in high school, I was a big fan of J.D. Salinger and the writer Kurt Vonnegut, who both remain important to me and have for like the last 20 years. Vonnegut in thinking about how in industrialized society we can be kind of like cruel to each other in a desensitized way that was very difficult when our worlds were smaller, and Yabamba's struggling. Just doesn't have a ton of pace, but he has a ton of heart. And then Salinger in thinking about the relationship between innocence and experience. Also, like writers like Toni Morrison, in thinking about kind of the role that the writer can play in, I guess, like bearing historical witness. I think Morrison's probably our 20th century anyway, best novelist at that. So get it. Oh, what a beautiful goal! What a beautiful goal! He's big where it counts. He's big where it counts. Oh, Les Moore. He's big where it counts. I really lost that there. I struggle with that one note. Oh my God, it's just a beautiful goal. He dedicated that one to Samore. Samore said, "Oh, AFC Wimbledon isn't good enough for me," but his formerly conjoined twin brother, Les Moore, said, "Well, it's good enough for me." And Les Moore is headed up with us, up to League One, where we're going to face the MK Dons, the team that used to be us. Here we go. Now things have taken a turn for the better. That was one of the best, I got to say, in terms of vision and finish, one of the best goals I've seen from the Wimbly Womblys all season. I feel like even though we don't have John Green, obviously we desperately miss other John Green. I feel like we've turned a corner and we're becoming the AFC Wimbledon I always knew that we could be. But I would say that I'm also influenced by like a lot of other artists that aren't writers, and I find looking at visual art really helpful and interesting in my life, and I find I love poetry even though I don't write it. I love listening to music even though I don't obviously have a deep inborn talent for it. And a lot of it is about trying to understand the lives of people who are maybe quite different from me, or whose lives are different from mine. That is like one of the great gifts of because that makes my reality more complex, and it makes the world that I look at more interesting than it otherwise would be. That to me is like the ultimate gift of art, is the gift of awareness. So art can create. It has to be, and it is. Oh, in the 90th minute, he scores with his shoe. He scored in the loo. Green Eggs and Sheringham. He just scored on you. It's a beautiful goal from Green Eggs and Sheringham, and the fans are giving him what do they call it in England? I don't know, when you give somebody when you tease somebody. Anyway, they're giving him the business about the fact that he was caught in a stall with a lady. But it's not. Listen, we're not a one-sex team. We're not a one-sex locker room. But that stuff's for home, Sheringham. Oh, I wanted to talk more about this, but then the game ended. Anyway, thank you to Barry for donating to the Project for Awesome and for the very interesting question. And thank you to the supporters of AFC Wimbledon, Wimbly Womblys. And thank you to an astonishing threesome of goal scorers today. Goal Porter, Les Moore, and Green Eggs and Sheringham. Fantastic. That's encouraging. That's the kind of stuff that we need to see. We need to see goals that don't come from the John Greens. And today we saw it. So huzzah. Thanks for watching. Best wishes.